Hi, I'm the Smoking Elk, and we have something a little bit different today. We are taking a look at the meter block from Action Labs. So, in the interest of full disclosure, I have been sent this for free. It's the meter block from Action Labs. Over the last week or so, I've been putting it through its paces for a review. I will always be honest on this channel. Those that know me know that I'm no nonsense. So, full honesty, meter block. Last week I fired it up and we used it in standalone mode and it worked absolutely fine. Tonight we're going to be using it in Wi-Fi mode with full cloud connectivity. So we want to see how this connects, how it monitors the cooks, how well it performs. So let's get cracking. This is the meter block from Action Labs. 4 probes, wireless probes, and a cloud Wi-Fi block. So the idea is 4 probes. Each of these probes will measure the internal temperature of your meat and the ambient temperature of your barbecue. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 probes. You leave these in, and the whole idea is if you've got it connected to your Wi-Fi, which is what we're going to do today, you'll be able to monitor the cooks from your phone. It'll give you a rough idea of how long the cooks are going to take, what the temperature is, when it's done, when it's ready to pull. We tested the unit as a standalone unit last week, and it performed admirably on some festive gammon that I did. Today, what I want to do is we're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. We're going to be using the cloud element of it, and we're going to be using 2 probes. So we want to monitor 2 separate cooks in 2 separate barbecues. So we're going to be spinning this chicken on the rotisserie, on the Kamado Joe, Big Rotisserie, and we've got this lovely double cut pork chop that we're going to be searing and then finishing in the Weber Master Touch kettle. So let's crack on. Okay, so setup was actually really easy. All we've done is turn on the meter block and then it's come up, set up Wi-Fi, and then what you do is you open the app on your phone. So you've got the meter app, open the app, connect to the Wi-Fi that you want the block to be connected to, and then what it'll do is your app will connect to the block. You put in the password for the Wi-Fi, and then the block will then be connected to your Wi-Fi. So we've just turned this on. We want to use Wi-Fi, so we're just going to hit select on the Wi-Fi. So this will now take a few seconds to kick in. Don't know if you can see or not, but here you've got a little Wi-Fi signal. So you can see it's got 1 or 2 bars of Wi-Fi signal there. Cloud is just trying to connect, as we've only just powered it up, so we just wait for that to connect to the cloud, and then we've got the battery level there. And then here you've got each of the probes, 1, 2, 3 and 4, all connected. So you can see now there's no dots in the cloud, so we should now be cloud connected. So let's open up the app. So this is what the app looks like. You've got the 4 probes there, it's 12 degrees out here. We're connected to the block. You can change the settings from Celsius to Fahrenheit, which is really handy. If you're going by American barbecue, for example, we're going to keep this at Celsius for this cook. So there you go, we've got probes 1, 2, 3 and 4. So let's get the probes into the meat we're going to be cooking and set up our first cooks. So first up, we're going to be spinning this chicken on the rotisserie. Now this is what I really like about the meter, because obviously you're not going to be able to use a probe with wires on the rotisserie. So already that is one of the big pluses for me. So all we're going to do with this probe is we're going to insert it into the thickest part of the breast. And there's a little line on here, you probably can't see that, but there's a little line on here. You need to make sure that's in past the meat to protect all the electrics in there where the magic happens. So that's in, it's in the thick part of the breast. I'm going to go ahead and set up the cook. Hopefully you can see this fine, but we've put the first probe in, as you can see, 7 degrees internal inside the chicken at the minute. So we're going to go ahead and set up the cook. So we just tap here to set up. I want to cook poultry, and we've got whole chicken, and we want to cook it to 73 degrees. Recommend 74, 73, 74, same. So 73 degrees, start cook. It's going to estimate the cooking time. It may take a little while to estimate the cooking time. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put this in the rotisserie, and we're just going to leave it for the whole cook. just to see how this performs. We're not going to lift the lid at any point. We're going to let it tell us when it's done. We're going to pull it when it's done. Hopefully we've got the charcoal set up, so we're not going to get any flare-ups. We're not going to burn the skin, but I literally just want to, this is the test for the meter. I want to see how it's going to perform without me keep opening the lid, changing the ambient temperature, etc. So let's go ahead and put the chicken in the rotisserie. So lid down, we're going to let that spin. We're going to let the meter block and the app do its thing and tell us when it's done. The chicken's been in about 20 minutes and it's now giving us this estimated time remaining. It says about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we'll see how accurate this is. You can see there it's 5 to 6. There you go. See that's 5 to 6. So this should be ready about 10 past 7. So we shall see. Also, just worth mentioning, just to give you an idea, is obviously this is connected to the home Wi-Fi, and this is out in my shack. There's probably about 20-25 foot to the house, so there's the house, and the Wi-Fi, my router, is actually through the kitchen, and so obviously these doors are closed through the kitchen. See where that TV is in there, the router is just under there, so you know, that's pretty good for connectivity. I mean, there's the shack, there's my lights behind the scenes right here, and there's the block, and it's got 2 or 3 bars of Wi-Fi. So let's just take a look just to confirm that. You can see there, it's got 2 bars of Wi-Fi. So pretty decent connectivity, so we're happy with that. Next up, we are going to be cooking this gorgeous double cut pork chop. We're going to be doing it on the Weber kettle. On the what we're going to do first is we're going to sear it. Now with the meter probe, you can't have the probe at temperatures that you would normally sear a steak or whatever. It's more for normal cooking, shall we say. Baking, roasting, slow cooking is fine, but you don't want it to be in contact with direct fierce heat. So we're going to sear this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pop the probe in, we're going to move it in direct and finish it until it comes up to temperature, and obviously we're going to bring it out once the meter block or the meter app tells us to. So let's get this baby seared. So we've given it a quick sear, and now we're going to bring it up to temperature indirect, away from the coal. We're going to leave the fat facing the coal because we want that to try and crisp up, and again, meter probe we want to put in the nice fat part of the chop, being sure to go over the line, so that's, make sure it's away from the bone. So we're happy with that. We're going to go ahead, get that one set up, and again bring it off when it says it's done. Let's go ahead. Oops. Probe number 2 is in there. Set up the cook. We're going to be cooking pork. We're going to be doing pork chop. 63, absolutely perfect. Start cook. I've got my volume turned down, that's why we're getting this warning. There we go. So again, we're just going to let that do its thing till it says we're ready to pull it off, rest, and then dig in. Almost forgot to stick a rub on the pork, so I'm just going to chuck some of this honey and chilli rub from Angus and Oink on there. I should have done this beforehand, shouldn't I? But I thought I'd better tell you that I'm putting it on now in case the pork looks different when I bring it off. Job done. So it turns out I'm actually a bit of an idiot, and the probes do come with these handy little probe clips that number them 1, 2, 3 and 4, so you know exactly which one is which. I haven't used them, and it turns out I've got probe 3 in there and probe 2 is still in the block. So I've set up the wrong cook, so I need to go probe 3, which is what's in the pork now, set up the cook and do it all again. So that's me being an absolute idiot. Should have used the clips. 63, start the cook. I did wonder why it wasn't quite estimating the cooking time or the ambient temperature. There we go, ambient temperature showing 194. We're actually at about just over 200 in there, so I think we've got the probe placement better than we have the chicken. Target 63, we're at 23 at the minute. That's better. This cook is chugging along, and yeah, what a dick. Quick update, guys. 6:45, and we've got this little alarm coming up that's saying there's 5 minutes before the cook ends for the chicken. Now, originally it said it's going to be about 7:10, so it has finished sooner. But we're at 66 degrees, target 73, so apparently there's 5 minutes left. We shall see. So this hasn't been too accurate. The Kamado Joe's been running at about 200 and this has been showing about 130 odd. I'm assured this is to do with the placement, and I don't doubt that, because on the pork chop here it's saying 170 and we are running at about 170, 175. So here we are, about an hour into the cook. It's 10 to 7. I'm being told to remove it from the heat. Internal temperature is apparently 70, so we're going to open the lid, we're going to check. One bit of advice and one thing that I'd always suggest is, with any leave-in thermometer temperature probe, it's all down to where the probe is placed. So always check, double check with an instant read thermometer. So we're going to open the lid, we're going to check this with the Thermopen, to see what temperature we're at, see how accurate this is, and then go from there. So we've just opened the lid. I can see that the probe, the ambient probe, is probably quite close to the meat, which may be why we're getting the wrong reading on there. This is the first time I've opened the lid throughout the cook, so I'm pretty pleased that I've seen a gorgeous looking bird like this. So let's go ahead. We're going to use the Thermopen just to check the internal temperature, because like I said, if the leave-in thermometer, if the meter isn't in the thickest part, then we're not going to get an accurate reading. So we're just going to go in, pop that in there. So that's reading at 70, which is exactly where the meter said it was. And in the thigh, we're at 86, 90. So we are good. We are golden. So we're going to do as the meter says, take this off and rest. But that, boys and girls, again, let's just check in the deep part of the breast. 70 degrees, 72, 71. So yeah, the meter is accurate. We're going to pull this off and we're going to rest before slicing. So pretty happy with that. So the chicken is off and resting. Pork chop, 1 minute remaining. We're at 62 apparently, target 63. We're going to go ahead, we're going to pop the lid off and we're going to see exactly how we're doing. So as you can see with this one, the ambient probe is a lot further away from the meat, which is probably why it's more accurate. So I'm going to do some more testing, but I have a feeling the ambient temperature is wrong on the chicken because of the placement. So this is showing 62 on the meter. We're going to go ahead and check with the Thermopen, and I don't know if you can see that, but we're at 63, so we are absolutely golden. We're going to take this off, we're going to test the chicken, we're going to test the pork. This is my favourite part, oh yes. So that's 2 cooks done with the meter block. Gorgeous roast chicken. The smell's just too much. I don't even know if I can finish this video. So it's gorgeous roast chicken, it's gorgeous double cut pork chop. The smells coming out of both of these is unbelievable. So how did the meter block perform? Overall, I am very impressed. As you saw, the internal temperature of the chicken when we tested it with the Thermopen was bang on. Same with the chop. The ambient temperature of the chicken in the Kamado Joe was not accurate. It was registering about 130, 135 when the Kamado was actually 200, but then we did see that the probe was quite far into the chicken and the ambient probe could have been too close to the meat and it gives off a false reading. With the chop, on the other hand, it was pretty much bang on, and the ambient probe was a bit further away from the meat, and that's the same as what we saw last week when we used the meter block as a standalone device. So just to give you a quick update on the ambient temperature, so this is the temperature of your grill. It's currently showing here between 127 and 128 C, and going to the Weber thermometer, it's pretty much bang on. We're at about 125, so we're very close. So see if it stays that way, but quite impressed so far. So but in terms of internal temperature, estimated cooking times slightly out, but I don't think you're ever going to get anything accurate on that. It all depends on the meat, how it's raised, the weight. There's so many variables. That's just maybe an added bonus to give you a rough idea of time. But as always with barbecue, cook to temperature and not time. So now is the moment I've been waiting for. What we're going to taste first. I think we're going to go in the chicken first. We're going to taste some of this chicken. We're going to see if it's juicy. We're going to see how well it's cooked, and then we're going to go in the chop. So let's do it. So first up, I'm going to slice some of this chicken into the breast. I'm not teaching you how to carve chicken here. Just going to dig in. We want to slice and we want to get inside, and we want to eat this for dinner. But this is looking very, very juicy. Pull that off. You can see there on this breast. You can see there how juicy that is. Perfectly cooked. So we're going to go ahead and take a slice. And let's just slice into the breast. You can see that is perfectly cooked. That is lovely and juicy. Let's take a slice. Juicy. Really tasty. It's what we'd expect from a well cooked chicken. The meter hasn't cooked the chicken. I've cooked the chicken, but the meter has helped us pull it off exactly when it's ready. And that is bloody beautiful. So next up, the chop. So here's that beautiful double cut chop. Looks absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to go ahead and just take that off the bone and then slice in. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely and juicy. And if you can see that, perfectly cooked. So we're going to go ahead. We've even got a lovely bit of crackling here. So let's take a little bit of that. Oh, perfect. There you go. You can see that pork, juicy. Let's dig in. Just going to take a small slice there. That's proper juicy. That's cooked to perfection. Even managed to get a bit of crackling on the skin. Yeah. Gotta say guys, really impressed. Sorry about the light by the way. I'm trying to get the light sorted out the shack while it's freezing cold while we've got dinner to cook, while I've got a baby inside. Talking to baby inside, this is going to come in handy because since I'm the new baby who's a month old now, I find that I need to be inside a lot more than I can be skiving outside with a beverage. So meter block going to come in handy with that. Really impressed with it. This is the first review I've done for the channel. Thanks for persevering. Hope it's been helpful, and I will catch up with you again next week. Thank you.